Jay Rock, percent off collector, and we're here with another Transformers unboxing and review. I guess the question in my voice is because this is coming from AliExpress, and this isn't one of those, is it kind of a knockoff or isn't it? This definitely is a KO, but I think it looks cool. So this one on AliExpress is the TNT-01 Jetfire. I mean, it has a long name. I mean, you want me to try and name it? I'll tell you how it's named. Transformers Toys TNT-01 Jetfire, Skyfire, Spacecraft, Space Guardian, Deformation Robot Car Action Figure, all Alloy Anime Model GIF. Holy cow, that's a mouthful. But the price was good. So we're gonna open this up and see if it's worth it and if it'll be worth it for your collection. Of course, make sure you hit that subscribe because we're almost about to hit 500 subs. And I need it, man. I ain't got much else. All right, we'll be right back. All right, so anyone who is into Transformers and likes Jetfire know that that's one of those characters that's hard to collect. Even, I think they made one it's not the Authentics line, but it kind of, I swear, I had it and I ended up selling it. It kind of looks like the Authentics line. Like, if anyone knows what that is, that's the one that's like the most cheapest one. It almost looks like dollar store Transformers. Even though, funny enough, there are a few that actually don't look that bad in that line, but the Jetfire just looked really bad. And it still was like 20 bucks for that thing, too. So I was disappointed. But anywhere else, if you're trying to get yourself a Jetfire, even knockoffs are pretty expensive. And there's another video here that I did also from AliExpress, which is like the Japanese version. It was interesting because there was kind of a question of if it was actually a knockoff or not. And I still am not 100% sure. But this one I know is one of the deformation. That's kind of your clue when you hear that. And of course, since it's AliExpress, you can see that the box took some damage. But as long as the product inside is okay, it's not bad. And, you know, when I looked at it, at first I was like, you know, it does look kind of plain and generic. But I was looking at the pictures, I actually saw some reviews. And I was like, you know what? Especially for the price I ended up getting it for, I was like, I'm going to check it out and see if it's worth it. I mean, like, basically at the same price pretty much as that Authentic. I'm like, why not? Let's see. So let's take this bad boy out and get to it. So, I mean, right away, like I said, I like the fact that even though I knew that the box was going to come with some damage, because almost all of them do, you know, the plastic inside right there at least gives me hope. So, I mean, really, at this point, I mean, I actually looks sweet. Like, I don't know, for some reason on the box, it kind of looks a little bit more generic than it is. I mean, obviously, being a knockoff, not having all the stickers and decals and all that, it's automatically going to look a little bit generic. But that's kind of why the videos kind of helped, because it kind of showed like all of it put together and all that. And then some people even did put like decals and stickers on it, and it ended up looking really sweet. But I have to say, just looking at it just straight out the box like that, it actually looks sweeter to me. So of course we're going to look at this, but let's start with the accessories, and we'll start with the most smallest ones here. So that's this little baggie here. It's really simple. But it looks like you have these different parts. So you have different hands. So it looks like there isn't actually any movement with the hand itself. So you got that one, you got these other ones. So you have another hand like that. That's kind of cool. I always like the like almost like a finger gun. Pew pew. You got a fist. Got the other fist, and then an alternate head. So basically it's the head with the mouth and all that for those who like that kind of look. And then you have the one that is, I would say, I guess, more robotic looking without any facial features besides the visor. And then you have the back part for, you know, that goes on the jet engine. Of course, like a lot of this stuff, I liked it because I actually liked Robotech as a kid. I mean, that was kind of like my first exposure to anything like Gundam, Macross, or anything like that, was those Robotech episodes. And I mean, of course, way back in the day, back in the days, when I didn't even have cable, guys. I mean, this is when, if anyone grew up in Chicago, anyone knows WGN Superstation. I mean, it's still around, but basically that was our cable, because WGN, it wasn't it wasn't ABC, it wasn't CBS, it was its own thing, and it would show all these cartoons. I mean, it was there before even like Fox was a thing. Like, some people don't realize, some of you kids don't realize, Fox was not always a network. I was trying to see if these come out. Looks like you got movement on the back here with these exhausts, so that's nice. But yeah, this is back in the day when like most people only had really, like, I guess you could say 3 channels. I think it was like 5, because it was like ABC, CBS, NBC, and then PBS. I forgot what the other one would be. I mean, there'd be the Spanish stations too, but besides that. So I have to say, you know, if you see my videos, especially whenever I talk about knockoffs, I always talk about the plastic quality, because, you know, one of the things about the authentics, and I remember I actually had bought, fun enough, from Amazon. I mean, and anyone who's collected for any time for a while knows that sometimes people do a switcheroo on Amazon. And I remember I ordered, I think it was the Siege Series Wheeljack, and I got authentics in it. And the reason I knew before I even finished putting out the box was because the plastic felt cheap. Like, at least this part right here, like all this here feels like good plastic. Like even the wings, which need to have the ability to move, and they move really nice. You know, that's one thing that people always talk about with quality. Like, is it going to be flimsy? Is it going to feel like it's going to break? Like, you never know. Like, I admit, this could just break on me, you know, at any moment, just because I don't know. But it doesn't feel like it's going to break, where I definitely have felt things where it did feel like it could break. So, like, even like bending these back, I don't feel like, oh my God, this is going to break any second. Like, even going the other way, I don't feel like it's going to break. Moving it all the way back and forth, it doesn't feel like it's going to break on me. So let's pan this out so you can get an overview of this guy. So I'd say that, like, he is definitely a little bit lighter in the plastic than pretty much any of the other Jetfires I just got to hold. Like I said, the only other one that I own is the other one that I thought that was a knockoff, and it turned out that it may not be. But this one doesn't feel bad. Like, I mean, just as we're looking through it, I'll just say, like, you know, like for instance, like turning the head, that doesn't feel like cheap, like good motion, but it feels about the same that I've felt with any of the real Transformers. I mean, same thing with moving the arms. I mean, of course, you can see the articulation too. I kind of like that he already had his weapon and all that. I mean, you can see the motion that you have here. You could turn. Strangely enough, not as much movement on the hands, even though you can swap them out, which is kind of interesting. Down at the feet, I mean, you can see most of this is just a transformation, so it's not really that much articulation, but there's a little bit of movement there. And then, of course, you can bend at the knee, and then you can see the joint here, so you can rotate the leg. You got decent movement. I mean, not like super high. I guess, does this go up? Yeah. So I guess that's part of it, so you can see. So you got that joint, ball joint there. So, I mean, pretty good, pretty good. Let me see. I'm just seeing if there's any other. No, there's no other rotation down there. And then the waist, not a full turn, which is not necessary. But I also like that it bends, though. I think that's, oh, that's part of the transformation. So that's not really a bend, but, oh, so it does. Okay, I just had it, I guess it was just hitting the edge. So you can rotate it all the way around on the waist. So yeah, that's cool. And like I said, so, you know, weapon, again here, like this, nothing crazy or anything like that. But as I said, it feels decent. And, you know, like so far, I mean, obviously most of this is white, so it's not as much details to it. But still, you know, if it'd be one thing if all of a sudden you just see a lot of paint mistakes and stuff. Like, obviously, I'm sure I can find something. But shoot, like I said, I find that on legit Transformers, brand new out the box too. So I'm just seeing, just making sure I didn't slide out too easy. This gap here, oh, I guess that's for being able, well, no, maybe not. I know you can fit this on the back, but I was just trying to see, because I think it's here. Yeah. I'm not sure what the hole, I guess maybe the hole is part of the transformation. I'll see when I do transform it. I think I have this upside down. Actually fits in there well, which that's also a good thing. So you see it's basically there. And I guess since this moves up and down, I guess you could play around with the placement. So if you want to have it like low, you could have it like that. And then you can also slide it up on him. So if you put him back, you know, then you can, it's weird because it does feel like, because I'm looking at it here, I guess that doesn't really matter. I mean, especially since it bends both ways, but I was just seeing, I mean, to me, this looks correctly just because it looks like now he's wearing a jetpack. So, I mean, you see that there. So obviously without the back, it does look weird, especially with that gap. I'm sure that has to do with the transformation, but together with it, I mean, that's another thing. It looks sweet. Let me see. Just get more space, yeah. Yeah, so depending on how you want to do it, you know, all the way up, out to the side, it has a good look. I like the little blue accents from up here, of course, in the cockpit. You know, really cool. And I definitely can see where there's spots where you could play around with decals and stickers and make it look sweet. But it has a really good presence to it, especially when you put it all together with the backpack. So I think that's really sweet. All right, so I like the robot mode. Like it's one of these things where it doesn't look bad. Let me see how the hand removal goes. I actually have no problem if there's like a little bit, you know, I mean, it snaps in super easy, which is great. And you actually put a little bit of elbow grease to pull it out. So that's cool. So you can see, bam, with the finger gun one. That's actually kind of cool, right? That looks sweet, I have to say. You get in there real close, like bam. Like that looks good. So swapping out the hands is not a problem. Let's see the head, because that seems to be the ones that get me. Man, see that one. I'm gonna see if maybe there's something I'm missing here, because it looks like, yeah, it looks like it's just here on the back. So I mean, it feels like it would just come. Oh yeah, okay. So I think maybe it's more like a slide forward, because if you look at the way this is, so I think that was just, I was kind of doing it incorrectly. What did I do with the other head? Oh, I moved it over here. So it's interesting because this one, so they're two different types. You see how that slides in compared to that? So this one, holy cow. Is this, because I'm trying to see, like, is this one where you kind of open it? That's interesting. I'm not 100% sure how that one goes. I mean, I still get the feeling that if I really push down on it, it could fit. But that's kind of weird. Like, they almost seem like it's like from two different lines. I mean, I doubt I would have to actually, I mean, it looks like if I remove the screw, it would fit correctly, but it just doesn't seem like you should. So, that is interesting. If someone knows, let me know, because this one obviously slides on correctly, and this looks like it's meant to hold it better once this is on. But I mean, it's not like this is at least that I see, like, just trying to see. I mean, it does definitely look like it'll just split apart once you remove that piece, but I guess you have to unscrew it to do that. But okay, I mean, if that's the case, I mean, that's one thing to keep in mind, that maybe that's possible, and I'll definitely let you know like how that looks. Let me see, as far as, okay, you heard that snap? So that went back on. No breakage, no cracks. It still moves the same. So I mean, that makes me happy that at least taking it off and like that and that good snap back on, there's no problem. All right, so we're gonna transform it and then give our thoughts on how it looks in its alternate vehicle mode. All right, and here it is in its alt mode, and I have to say it does look pretty sweet, especially when you put everything together. Thanks to Toys R Us, which is RUSS by the way, for help with transforming this. I'd say the transformation wasn't that hard. There's a couple of pieces that it doesn't seem like they click as well as they should be. So I'll give an example. Like back here, like these are supposed to like click in. And at one point I kind of got a click. But then after that, it's like I really couldn't. Now, they sit the way they're supposed to sit. They're not moving or anything. But it's just that for some people, they were able to click. And for others, they're not. Up here at the cockpit is another one where this one I kept seeing if I was doing it wrong, because like when you're putting this back, you need this space when you're putting this top piece on. So it actually is not so bad before that, but if you don't have this top piece on, there's nothing that this latches into, and this is as far as it's supposed to go, because like as far as like that. But you see, like as far as I saw, you can't get any, there's nothing to click, and it doesn't, if you can tell, it doesn't quite fit in there. Like you can kind of push it in a little bit. You see that? Like it's kind of hard to see, but like if you can see, I kind of got it to push in a little bit, but still not quite. So again, in the full presentation of everything, no problem at all. But that's just, you know, just to let you know how little things that I noticed in doing a transformation. But everything seems sturdy, and I like that. Like for instance, like these guns, just to make it easier, I took them off. So you can take these off. Actually, I pulled a little bit out of its transformation. Let me fix that. But you can pull these off on the side. So you can see that. So you can pull those off on the side. So I did that. That was one of the recommendations while transforming. Same things with these up here. Like these come off each side. So that's cool. You can see right there, that's where you mount it on. Obviously looks awesome. You might be wondering where is his main weapon? At the bottom, which again, I just think like the bottom looks actually sweet. Like I like how especially it hides the head, because without this, and that's it also, it works, it's functional because of how long. Actually, this is the first time I actually removed it, so it's like it's really pretty good, sturdy. So this is where the head is. So you see that in there, and you see that's what I'm talking about. Like if you look underneath there, there isn't anything to click, and that's this top part that you're seeing here. So that's the one part that I was curious about. I was like, man, I don't see something that really locks it in there, but you see that little thing way down there. That's why this length actually works. And I think that that's sweet, because like once you push it in, like it lines up here, and it gives you that nice aesthetic. And like I said, since a lot of these things move easily, obviously if I'm moving around trying to get camera position, you know, I can kind of get it out of whack. But honestly, it's not something that I think you're going to have any trouble with. But I just think it looks sweet all together. Obviously, like you saw, there's no front landing gear, so that's the only thing. But it's high enough where it's not noticeable. But you see, it does sit like that's how it would be if it was like on its own landing gear. So that's the only thing that is kind of weird. I was wondering, I was like, was I missing something? But I didn't see in any of the reviews that it had landing gear with any of the others. So I have to say that just the presentation wise, I think is sweet. And then of course, like, you know, with the sliding wings, you can do the whole battle mode thing. So it's like you can have it more wide open like an airplane, or you can slide it back. So that's, like I said, that's the only thing is I guess maybe sitting, it does seem kind of weird not to have that extra front piece. Let me know if I'm missing something, because really I watched a couple of videos just to make sure I wasn't messing up, because I totally could admit that it's possible that I was, but I checked it. I didn't see anyone else that had landing gear either for the front. So I'm thinking like even with the gun here, or is this it here? Is it part of the gun? This looked like it was something, but I didn't. No, I don't. It's not. This doesn't move. But it almost looks like it would have. Let me take an extra look. Just do my due diligence. This really does sit in there though, but I didn't notice it when I was looking at it on the gun mode. Yeah, like this looks like it's like it could roll out, but is it just? Oh, wait, there it is. Ah! So I was wrong. It was just stubborn, or I'm weak, which is possible. All right, so there you go. Bam. I correct myself on my own review here in live time. So there you go. So it's actually in the gun. It fooled me. It fooled me. So there you go. Much better like that. So now it sits much better. So I was gonna say, I was like, but that's so weird because the review that I saw, they didn't mention that. But you know, hey, maybe I missed that too. It's very possible. But I do like also you can move around these guns as well, so you can either kind of make them straight. But you see how like this, like a lot of things, you kind of have to like set it and then kind of leave it, because like even bumping things around, like a little mover here or there, you'll end up making it move. But I think the presence is sweet. You know, there's a little thing here, like some of these gaps here looks kind of weird. But then again, a lot of the Macross stuff I saw, they kind of like those like open spaces and stuff like that. You know, it kind of goes with, I guess, the design of the mech or whatever. So I mean, it's nothing that bothers me, but it's just something that I look at, and I'm probably a little bit more nitpicky just because, you know, I bought it from AliExpress, so I just want to make sure if there's any issues or not. So speaking of AliExpress, as I said, this I paid $19 and that was with free shipping. So I'm not complaining at that price. This thing looks sweet, doesn't feel cheap, it transforms well, it has a good presence in both modes. So and you saw that even though the box was a little bit damaged, that was not that much damage. I mean, I've gotten damage like that from Walmart, from Target, from Amazon, so really not bad. And the box is generic, so no one's saving that box. So overall, I'm happy with it. It's another cool Jetfire. I actually like it in both modes, which is always a plus for me, because sometimes I like one mode more than the other. I don't know, maybe I guess I would say I probably do like the jet mode a little bit more, just because all together with all the weapons, and especially now that I realize it did have the landing gear, it looks really sweet. But I definitely think that it's a very good addition to my collection, especially for Jetfire, because it's expensive to find those things. And I definitely think it'll be a great addition to yours. Hey, thanks for checking out the channel. And if you like what you've seen, please consider giving us a like, comment, a sub, all that stuff. It really helps the algorithm as we try to make a push to reach out to more collectors that, like me, like to get that discount. Because you know how I say, no discount, no deal. All right, catch you later.